All right, I think we're recording. This is Kyle, sometimes called Cubby, if you're familiar with my work in engineering and Twitter. But most people, including the people on screen who are my lovely parents, know me as Kyle. And we are today going to switch over and look at some of the work that I have done for Marigold, which is built with input from both Lori and Ken, and then also kind of tailored to a group that we're all mutually members of to try to make things better. So I just want to, the way that this will work, or the way that I intend for it to work, I'll close this out so everybody can see better, is I intend to walk through just at a high level the way that the website currently looks, and then show a reimagining of what the website will look like as soon as this particular recording ends. I do a little bit more of a security check, audit the code, and make sure that things are looking good. So before I launch in here and just talk at y'all, you have any questions or things that you're hoping to get out of it?
Oh, that looks like what I've been using. At least the interface looks very familiar.
Cool. Lori, you got anything?
Not yet.
Cool. So as a designer, I did the worst thing possible, which is I jammed a bunch of stuff into one screen, and I didn't really care what it looked like. I was just trying to make sure that the security logic, this very user-friendly term, zero data exfiltration, 100% local random access memory tag, definitely not a mouthful, was working properly. And because of that, I didn't care so much about the UI. I wanted to make sure that UI means user interface. It's essentially what you're looking at. So I didn't want to worry that much about making it look elegant or beautiful, because the most important thing when you're dealing with private, secured, or regulated data is ensuring that you respect the privacy, the security, and the regulations, turns out. And so that was my priority first. And the work that I'll show after I review this is the work that is my specialty, which is UX product design and product architecture. So my problem with this page is, goodness, there's a lot of junk going on. It's hard to realize that you can do things like this combine and refine doesn't even really work here. Dashboard won't load, which is my fault. I broke something, but that's also a similar disaster. There's a lot of things going on here. It's hard to know if you click this or this or this or this, or this or this or this. What do you do in the table view, and how do you view things? I will also note, since this is going to be a public video, we hope, that the test case here is RS, which is obviously not a US state. I picked Roosevelt because it is equally offensive to everyone. Conservatives like Teddy, liberals like FDR, and if I pick some other president, people would think I was making a value judgment. With Roosevelt, I'm just starting an argument at the Thanksgiving table. But this page, overall, it's okay. It does what it's supposed to do, which is help people go through and analyze basic voter records. Then we have duplicate finder. This is hard to read, and it's weird to see dark on white and all that stuff. It's not really clear like what the point of this page is. I've sort of fixed some of this. I'm still working through what this could actually be. The new version I'll show you in a minute is called, I think, Advanced Statistics. But basically, I'm just showing what it looks like. And the thing that I want you guys to you guys being both Lori and Ken, to kind of take in is there's just a lot of information to absorb. Would you say that that's a fair assessment?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. And then next we have here, and these aren't rendering, but there's also just a bunch, and you can see different things, and so I'll just download this and switch to this state, all these things. It's real hard for the user to know what they're going to do. AI is pretty simple. You just enter a message and get a response. And then down here at the bottom, there's like this is how I manage my group. So if I'm managing the state of Roosevelt for Mississippi fair elections, I can see that I've got Sarah, Marcus, and David in here, and I can call Elena if I want to, who's at Franklin County. Obviously, all these people are fake, and Roosevelt.gov is not real, I hope. I assume not. I didn't test it. But, I can just do basic group management. So I'll go back to the Explorer and Review page and then pause here for a second. You have any questions on what it currently looks like before we move into the newer, better version?
No.
All right, let's proceed. Newer, better version, big difference. So the way that this works is the tool originally is like, if you know exactly what you're looking for, you can pull up a data table. And you can see just a bunch of rows in this spreadsheet. You click on them. I can go back here just to demonstrate. I can click on one here like Joshua Mendoza, and I can go into and view his data. This might not be working in the new version, but I'm getting that resolved now. But you can click into it, and then as a user, myself and I think others were kind of like, cool, so what? What do I do next? So the new version here is you have a dashboard. So if I were part of a group, then I could add others to my group, and I could say in our group chat within the application, I've not been able to test this yet because I'm only one person testing it, but theoretically it should work. If I had a group chat, I could be like, I want to assign this particular card to Ken, and this needs triage should be assigned to Ken. That feature is not quite there yet, but I'm walking you through the overall idea before I put in invest a lot more time. Ken gets it, and then he says, okay, I'm moving that into review. And then after he reviews it, he could say, okay, I'm ready to submit, or this is not, a threat, and resolved. And both as an individual as well as a member of the group, the individual can understand what they're working through in a specific day, and the group overall can understand what the status of the group is, and whatever the aims of the exploration or analysis that they're trying to conduct, they can understand that at a glance and see exactly what's going on. So yeah, data overviews broke as well, but that's the major difference. And just to kind of one-to-one that, this is a choose your own adventure. Holy cow, there's a lot of options. And this is I need to work with 100 Campus Drive today. I would click into it. It would open that panel on the right side, help me out and help me understand what I need to do next. I have a built-in helper right here where I could ask a question for the specific card and walk me through. And then if I had a question, I could go into my group chat, and without having to pull out my phone and text somebody on, this person on Signal and that person on WhatsApp and this person on Facebook and that person on just normal messaging, and then this person only checks email and the other person only takes a call, they can just, everybody in the group can just see what the latest activity, the comments, and the priorities are right here. So I think that that's an improvement. I can continue forward unless you guys want to see something or have like feedback or ideas to improve this.
It's an interesting choice of the word Kanban up there. I think I definitely know what that means, but only because I've had a management class or two. So I don't know if you got to have that word, but just kind of a I don't know what another word would be, but something along the lines of work plan or something like that, maybe.
Battle station. Yeah, I mean, Kanban is the word for it. It would be like, if you're a surgeon and you're somebody is confused by the word cardiovascular or heart, and they're like, what's another word for heart? And you go central blood pumping organ. Kanban it's the word, and ultimately, I don't know.
I don't think it matters, but people might wonder what it means, but it doesn't really matter. Even if they don't know what it means, you can still, it's irrelevant, I think.
Let me switch into Roosevelt here, just to make sure I don't accidentally expose data that I don't want to, although I don't think so. So for specifically for the the voter application, it's really helpful just to see this is why Justin is in the hopper, 100 Campus Drive, and Andrew. Now I can understand what's going on, see a quick note, and I don't have to worry about things. Whereas other tools, I'm not saying that they're bad or provide poor data or whatever. They look they're actually even more complex than this. And it's really hard to know what you're looking at and kind of what's next. And so I'm putting in the steps that when I find something, I can go, oh, okay, I'm moving this through, and I can do this either as an individual or I can do this as a part of a group. I can filter things. As I mentioned, this is probably not working. Yeah. So I could filter to things just me, just needs triage, just in review or whatever. This is probably not working yet. It's working on the server, but not on the website. Basically, I can click run 360-degree audit, and then it will help me populate and create different cards that would need triage that I could then review. And as a group administrator, set my team up for success as they're trying to explore A, B, or C. Cool. So this is the main workflow here. The tool that I'm working on today, it's not going to load. Actually, it is going to load. It's just it's a heavy amount of software, and so when I first click on it, it'll take 10 seconds or 20 seconds because I haven't fully optimized it yet, or it also just might break. But this is a tool. If it doesn't load, I'll give it one more click and we'll wait a few seconds. This tool is kind of like an assisted search. And so instead of it just being voter data, I've used a couple of different open source data. I suppose libraries would be a user-friendly term. And so theoretically, you can ask it questions like, does population density correspond highly with obesity rates? Or the question I was just asking it, and I got a failure on, was, does the percentage of people who own cars correlate to political affiliation? And I truly don't know the answer to that. But what Marigold will be in this new version, this new iteration, this new direction, is a full featured insights tool where people can ask for any sort of public data insights, and they can run that against their own private data. So for instance, voter rolls, health records, whatever, and then generate the insights and the comparison to understand, is A related to B? If so, where? If not, whatever. It doesn't have to be necessarily like prescriptive and diagnostic, saying, these are bad things and we have to pay attention to them. It needs triage. There's an emergency. You could ask it other questions like, if I want to have a long and happy and healthy life, and these are the things that I'm looking for, where's the best place for me to look? And by using those public data sets, it would be able to help you find insights and conclusions that otherwise you would be unlikely to find anywhere else as a normal user. If you had like $1 million or maybe $800,000 computer, these sorts of AI insights would work. But Marigold just does it right out of the box, a couple of clicks, with something as simple as a few words or a few spoken words that you speak into the AI. So this is broken right now, which appears might be true kind of elsewhere. Theoretically,
What about, suppose we've worked through the stack here and
Yeah.
we've got, some number, say 30, 50, 20, 10, whatever, that are ready to submit. Could we download those into something like an Excel spreadsheet or text or something like that?
Yeah, correct. So there should be a button up here that says generate report. There's two options. One would generate a report that is just a PDF. So it kind of gives the process of how you found it, what the anomalies are, where they're located. Speaking generally, because it might not be voters, but for the voter, it will be, county level, things like that. It would also provide basic insights, like perhaps a county has a natural disaster or their election commissioner got hit by a truck. I don't know what the cause would be, but it finds some reasons. And then says, regardless of whatever the reasons are, we notice these anomalies, they should be rectified. And this county might just need a little bit more help. And it just surfaces that. But yes, you could generate it as a report, which would be a PDF and provides the context for the data, or you could generate it as a CSV itself, which is just, a normal Excel file. Let me close this out and see if I can get to a local host again, because it appears that my my local computer is just refusing to respond. If not, then we can just end it where we are, and I can show you guys later, but you get or I can send some screenshots or something like that, but you get the overall direction, I hope. I think I've just got my computer working too hard on too many different things, but you get the idea of kind of the direction I'm going, where it is significantly simplified.
Yes.
And I think it's a massive improvement, but I wanted to show it, and I figured we might as well record so others can see and kind of understand that directionally this is not meant to overwhelm. It is meant to assist. It's just harder to get to that assistance level,
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to switch back here because my local site, which means I'm running on my computer, is not cooperating, which is par for the course. Before we stop recording, do you guys have any other questions or feedback that you'd feel comfortable sharing publicly?
It looks great. I think it's definitely more user friendly, and that's a great thing. And I think almost anyone can use it if they're fairly familiar with using any sort of browser program or similar thing on a computer. So I think that's very well done.
Yeah, if it was working, I've created an entire new user onboarding thing. So it dumps you in, you say, I'm a beginner, I'm an expert, and then it walks you through everything you need to do, shows you examples, trains you everything you need to do. It's dead simple. I think that if you're running a real data set, it's slightly more complicated because of the privacy features in the app. And I can't change that because of legislation. But if you're using the demo environment, it's super fast. I think it's as easy as using like email plus Google Docs. It's probably as easy, if not easier than that. And I'm hopeful that the changes, which hopefully will go live within 24 hours, today is July 24th, we'll see. I think that there'll be a massive improvement. And thank you guys so much for taking the time to see it.
Well, thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll get back to our phone call and close this out, and we'll let it process, and we'll put it on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can go to Marigold Insights, not insults.org, although that's probably a banger of an idea that I should explore, or Mississippi Fair Elections, the Election Integrity Network, and anybody else if you're interested in overall voter integrity or voter election integrity, voter data, public data, and how you can explore it. So we'll end here and see you in the next one.
Thanks.
Great.
I'm trying.
I'm just glad I didn't hurt or something.
Okay, I'm back on the phone.
Yeah. When nobody broke wind as best we could tell, although if they have the cloud like, well, if we've got the cloud like Eric Swalwell, we're probably all in trouble.